Well, good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our virtual youth summit today to celebrate Global Fertilizer Day. We are happy that you've joined us to talk about global food security for the 21st century. We are excited for today's session. We, as the agricultural industry, celebrate October 13th because of the invention of the Haber-Bosch process, which is the process of ammonia synthesis or nitrogen fertilizer, way back in 1908, so 114 years ago. So we celebrate today as Global Fertilizer Day. That discovery was the beginning of the Green Revolution, which allowed so many to be lifted out of famine and to allow the world to grow more food. Half of all the food grown today, either for people or animals, is made possible because of fertilizer. Next slide, please. So just an overview for our participants joining us today. This session is being recorded. We have measures in place to help maintain integrity of the event. So we're just asking that everyone keep their mics on mute. The Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. So if you have questions for our panelists, by all means, put your question in there. We'll get through those questions at the end. The Executive Director, Tamara from Nutrients for Life. And we are working in partnership with 4R Solutions and 4-H Ghana to bring this virtual youth summit to you today. So we're going to hear Mr. Boating, who is the Executive Director of 4-H Ghana, and then 3 spectacular presentations from Shafa, Calvin, and Corley. And then the final presentation will be from Dr. Samuel Jorge, who is an agronomist with the African Plant Nutrition Institute. And if we can't get to all of the questions today, we will certainly follow up with all of the attendees for today. Next slide, please. Next slide. All right, so I just brought up a global picture to show where the country of Ghana is on the African continent in comparison to where Nutrients for Life, where we are here in Canada. Next slide, please. So a bit about Nutrients for Life. So we're a small but mighty group of 4 across Canada. And so we bring educational resources to the classroom based on soil science and agricultural sustainability. So we help teachers with science-based resources and programming to help them understand what it takes to feed a very hungry world. Next slide, please. And so if this topic is of interest to you or your classroom, we are excited to share that on October 19th, 4R Solutions will be releasing another case study all about the 4-H Ghana program, so please stay tuned. So what is 4R Solution? It is a Canadian approach that will improve the socioeconomic well-being and resilience of over 80,000 smallholder farmers, particularly women in the countries of Ethiopia, Ghana, and Senegal. And this program began in 2019, full that the program will continue to help these smallholder farmers better produce and be more sustainable. So the 4R Solution aims to show how adopting more sustainable farming practices, or in other words, best management practices, can increase incomes, food security, resilience, and reduce poverty. The youth that are speaking today will be speaking how 4R stewardship practices were used in their projects to help them to produce more sustainable and better crops. Next slide, please. So why is this important for Africa? It's important because over 500 million people live on small farms. And by what I mean by small farms is these farms are 1 to 2 acres in size. Most of those farms are managed by women, and the more empowerment and better understanding we can give these smallholder farmers, it will ensure that they're more productive, more sustainable, and resilient. It is truly important for youth in Africa as well to have a better understanding of agricultural production, as Africa is currently the youngest continent. Nearly 60% of the African population is under the age of 25. Next slide, please. As well, the 4R Solution program also aligns itself with 8 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So let's get started with our very first speaker today, who is Mr. Boateng, and he is the Executive Director of 4-H Ghana. And he's going to give us a bit of background on the program and how 4-H is rolled out across the country of Ghana. Welcome, Mr. Boateng.
Thank you, Tamara. Yeah, so let me welcome you again. And we are so excited to be part of this program. I bring you greetings from 4-H members across the country and that of the volunteers. And we are so excited to be part of today's event. So 4-H Ghana is a positive youth development organization that seeks to make young people self-directing, productive, and contributing members of society through the methodology of learning by doing. And 4-H Ghana is part of the global 4-H network, which started in the US in 2011, when countries from all the 5 continents met in Chevy Chase to come out with this innovation. So 4-H Ghana mission is to provide innovative positive youth development programs that increase participation and investment in young people. In Ghana, we are working in 6 regions out of the 15 regions. And we're reaching over 67,000 young people. Our program started in the year 2000. Next. So this is the structure of the 4-H program in Ghana. The headquarters, which is based in Koforidua in the Eastern region, support and provide direction to the district management board, which are located in the districts and the municipalities. The district management board comprise of the GES, that's the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the district assemblies, traditional authorities, religious leaders, and other individuals who come together to support and direct the 4-H activities in the districts, or maybe as you county that you may find in Canada or in the US. At the club level in schools and communities, they also have club management board, which consists of the head teacher, the club advisor, the PTA, Parent Teacher Association rep, farmers, leaders, and other people in the communities that support the 4-H program. At the local club level, our program reaches people between age 8 to 20 years in the schools and 15 to 35 years at the community, that is the out of school youth group. We have teachers that support the program as club advisors and other agricultural extension officers. Next. Now, let me say briefly about why the 4-H program in Ghana. As you may all know, Ghana is an agrarian country, more or less an agricultural country that depends much on this agriculture for our economy. Now, what you see there is a picture. It's not a market, but it's a street. And this is common in most African countries, in Lagos, in Dar es Salaam, and other countries you can see. The situation is almost the same. Because agriculture is neglected as a business in Ghana, this has facilitated the rural-urban migration, where young people are moving from the rural areas to the bigger cities. And this is creating a whole lot of youth unemployment. For us, this is so because in Ghana and other African countries, there's a lack of positive youth development program that target the youth, like the 4-H is doing. We don't have some of these programs that really target the young people and direct their attention towards agriculture, which is the main focus of business that target a lot of people. Next. Yeah, so how the school-based agricultural education is impacting young people in Ghana. We're making young people becoming more productive, self-reliant, and also acquire the agricultural skills through our programming. We also try to improve education and transfer knowledge to the communities, especially the smallholder farmers. So as young people do 4-H programs and learn how to cultivate in schools, they are able to share this knowledge with their parents who are farmers and other farmers in the community. We also try to improve food security, socioeconomic growth, and national development. And lastly, helping young people to develop interest in agriculture, as many of our people that engage in our program are found pursuing agriculture at a higher level. And we think this is very, very important since we have an agrarian country. Next. Our partnership and collaborations, 4-H Ghana is not working in isolation. We work with Ghana Education Service that has given 4-H Ghana the edit to go around all the schools in Ghana and organize 4-H clubs to help reach out to many young people. We also work with Ministry of Food and Agriculture at the district level, the Department of Agriculture. They are the ones that provide 4-H Ghana with technical support using the extension officers. We also have a collaboration with AgriCorps. AgriCorps is a US-based NGO that recruits fellows from US universities that come to Ghana to serve in the rural areas, working with 4-H clubs to build capacity. We also have a collaboration with Texas A&M University through the International Agriculture Education Fellowship Program. They also bring fellows to work with us. We, of course, we also work with the Fertilizer Canada through the 4-Hour Solution projects and with the Ghana Health Service on other programs such as adolescent reproductive malaria and other programs. Next. So the 4-Hour Champion program that we started forms part of the 4-Hour Solution program, which was funded by Global Affairs Canada through Fertilizer Canada. The project started in May 2021, covering 3 regions in Ghana and 14 districts and municipalities in Ghana. The project targeted young people aged between 12 to 20 years in schools and 20 to 25 years for out-of-school youth. The project has reached 102 teachers and extension officers who, as champions, engage 1,500 young people on the 4-Hour principles to increase yield through the 4-H Ghana Enterprise Gardens in schools and communities. In all, 51 schools and communities were engaged in the project. Next. Next. So these are the implementation achievements. Train 4-H club members, promoting of school education, school-based agriculture education program, economic empowerment, and 4-H members winning awards in various schools programs. Next. So these are the pictures you see next on the 4-Hour projects that we did. So these are our pictures from the projects that you see. So these are amazing pictures. These are awards that were won by some of the clubs. These are extension officers that support our programs from the Department of Agriculture. This is an exhibition that some of them participated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Boateng. That's amazing. Such great work that you're doing in Ghana for your youth. Thank you so much for sharing. So now we're going to hear from our very first 4-H youth member, Shafa. So Shafa will be joining us and talking about the crop of maize or corn that was growing. So please, Shafa, go ahead.
Greetings to you wherever you are joining us in celebrating this Global Fertilizer Day. Next. Ali Shafa Marwa is my name, and a proud member of the Doimudiye Basic B School. Next. As part of my presentation, I will talk about preparation of sites, planting stage, fertilizer application, pest and parasite control, harvest, challenges I faced, and finally recommendations. Next. I am sharing with you experiences working on my 4R micro project. A plan was organized by myself at home after the ongoing school project. Next. I had some few works done on the land, like clearing, hoeing, and finally fencing to prevent domestic animals from destroying my crops. As part of my micro project, I planted white hybrid maize, specifically Lake 601, which is known to withstand harsh weather conditions and also matures earlier than other varieties. A line spacing of 50 centimeters by 70 centimeters and 1 seed per hole was used to prevent the plant from competing for nutrients and air. Next. Fertilizer plays a very vital role in the implementation of the 4R solution program. The availability of it, its acquisition, and effective management goes a long way in determining yields. This was something I had no knowledge of until the inception of the 4R solution project in my school. To this end, one needs to know the right source of nutrients, the right place of its application, the right time, and not forgetting the right rate of nutrient to apply. For cereals like maize that I cultivated, the right source of nutrients was Yara compound fertilizer, since it contained the amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium needed. This was based on technical advice from the Agric extension agent that helped me on the project. This access to the fertilizer was quite difficult and expensive, but I had financial help from my parents and 4-H Club through the support given them by Fertilizer Canada to purchase it. This fertilizer easily dissolves even with night dew because of its hygroscopic nature. Next. The right place of application was 10 centimeters away from each plant, and I used the drilling method to ensure that my fertilizer is not washed away by rainwater. Also with this distance, I'm very sure my crops can absorb the nutrients fully. Also, if the fertilizer is too close to my crops, they will eventually die due to the effect of osmosis. Next. The right time was 20 days after planting my crops. This is because by the time the crop starts rooting, the nutrients would have fully dissolved. The application was done in the evening because applying fertilizer during a sunny day can harm the crops due to the heat generated. Next, the right rate used was 5 to 10 grams of Yara compound fertilizer per plant to ensure maximum absorption without harming the plant. This is because too much of the fertilizer can be a waste and also harm the crop. Again, this rate was chosen based on experts and agriculture extension officers' advice. Next. When I started with my project, my parents didn't show much interest because the land is pure clay, and as such, plants like maize are not to do well under such circumstances. However, following the principles of the 4R, I had a great harvest, and my parents and neighbors were amazed. I took them through the principles of the 4R, and they became the first recipients of the knowledge I acquired from the 4R project. Some of the produce from my garden was sold and money used to purchase my educational materials, while the rest were used by my family and neighbors as food. Next. One major challenge I faced during implementation of the project was when 4 armyworms attacked my crops. As a result, the crops looked pale and some started dying off. An agricultural extension officer was quickly contacted through my club advisor, and based on his expert advice, Protect 1.9 EC was used together with stylet oil to control the pest. Protect 1.9 EC is a natural product obtained from soil microorganisms. This product is easily absorbed in plant tissues and ingested by larvae. It interferes with the pest nervous system, causing them to lose cell function and stop feeding. The larvae die in 2 to 4 days. The active ingredient degrade in few hours and do not bioaccumulate. The pesticide was mixed with stylet oil. This oil reduces the ability of aphids to acquire from virus from an infected plant and transmit it to healthy plants. 20 ml and 100 ml of Protect 1.9 EC and stylet oil respectively were used for one knapsack sprayer, and these quantities were used per the manufacturer's manual. Next. As a 4R champion, I wish to recommend the use of these principles to all smallholder farmers in Ghana because it will help them boost their production, grow healthy food, and without harming the environment. Looking at the key roles fertilizer plays in the success of 4R principles, there is the need for government to keep subsidizing the cost for smallholder farmers and also make it accessible for them. Agri extension officers should be equipped with needed skills so they can also effectively render services to farmers. With these measures in place, we are sure to achieving global food security. Thank you.
Thank you, Shafa. That was amazing. Great job. What a crop of corn you grew. Thank you so much for sharing. We truly appreciate it. It's been brought to our attention that the chat function has been disabled, so our apologies. So if you're tuning in, if you just want to pop in the Q&A section where you are joining us from today, that would be greatly appreciated. Sorry about that. And so now we're going to move on to our second speaker. And so we're going to ask Calvin to join us and talk about his 4R project. And the crops grown in this project was lettuce and cabbage. So thank you so much. Calvin, go ahead.
You are welcome from wherever you are viewing this. And my name is Calvin Eli from the Adontin 4-H Club. And this is a short presentation on the 4R nutrient stewardship project that I took part in. And the background to which I undertook this project was that a report by the World Bank shows a record high food price, which has recently triggered a global crisis that will drive millions into extreme poverty. That is magnifying hunger and malnutrition as well. These rising food prices have a greater impact on people in low and middle income countries, which my country, Ghana, is no exception, since we spend a larger share of our income on food. This situation calls for effective measures to increase food production to prevent food insecurity in my country. This is why I embraced the 4R stewardship project by the Canadian government, which aims at efficient and effective use of fertilizer, that is applying fertilizer at the right rates, at the right time, and at the right place, not forgetting that the fertilizer must also be purchased from the right source in order to increase produce and also increase income as well. Next. In Ghana, under the government's flagship project, Planting for Food and Jobs, maize cultivation has been greatly subsidized, rising the price of fruits and vegetables, since little attention is given to their production. This is why I decided to use the 4R stewardship project as an opportunity to gain knowledge in the right way of producing vegetables and to introduce small-scale farmers, and most importantly, my family members and my friends to it. Next. I cultivated lettuce and cabbage with the varieties Eden and Oxlos respectively. And I cultivated these crops because they are feeders on fertilizer. And here are some of the areas that I'll be covering in my presentation. That's the land preparation and planting. And I will take you through the heart of this project, that's the fertilizer application. And I will hint you on how I harvested my lettuce, and most importantly, I will let you know the knowledge that I gained from this project. Next. I cleared the land about the size 50 meters by 50 meters, and I constructed seed beds about the size 300 centimeters by 70 centimeters, and nursed my seeds using the drilling method. After which I watered my nursery beds for 5 days, that is in the morning and the evening, 7 o'clock a.m. and 4 o'clock p.m. respectively. After the 5 days, my seeds germinated and I transplanted them 4 weeks after germination. And the measurement I used to space them on the main field was 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Next. I used both compound and straight fertilizers, which were NPK 23-10-5 and ammonia. And here I consulted the Ministry of Food and Agriculture personnel, and he advised me on the NPK 23-10-5 and ammonia, since they were the best in vegetable production. I tried placement method to apply my fertilizer, and I used a 300-gram milk tin to measure 2 cups of the NPK and 1 cup of the ammonia, after which I mixed it with water in a 30-centimeter bucket, and I measured 1 tin to a plant. My soil was sandy loam and the roots of the lettuce was fibrous. Next. I harvested my lettuce when they were about 8 weeks matured, and I harvested them by either uprooting them whole with the roots or by cutting the base with a sharp knife. And I harvested about 2 to 3 bags in a day, and I sold them to nearby citizens, some family members, and some friends as well. Next. Next. This project has benefited me a lot, and why I say this is that because of this project, I now know the proper way of applying fertilizer, and I also know that fertilizer can't be applied at all times because one must study the current weather before applying his or her fertilizer to prevent wastage. And because of this project, I now know some benefits of applying fertilizer, that is increase in income and also increase in produce as well. I also learned some effects of the wrong way of applying fertilizer. And as now as I speak, the price of a 50 kg bag of fertilizer in Ghana is about 455 Ghana cedis. That's 45 US dollars. And if much care is not taken and is applied wrongly, the excess that's left in the soil escape into the atmosphere as hydrocarbon emissions, and also some of the excess leach into the soil, which goes to pollute nearby water bodies. I shared the ideas I got from this project to nearby small-scale farmers and some family members and some friends. And because of this project, I see prospect in agriculture in the sense that if much attention is given to this project, we can grow enough to feed our nation and above all, cater for our families. Next. And here are some pictures from my project. And this picture was taken when I transplanted my lettuce. Next. And this is also a picture of me when I was applying my fertilizer. And this is also a picture of my lettuce at full maturity. And this is also a short video of me and when I invited some of my club members to assist me in harvesting my lettuce once a client had registered for some. Next. And this also a short video when I invited some of my club members. And this is my lettuce from China. You see one requested project has been very amazing because that with, and in this picture is when I'm using the right way of fertilizer use to a nearby small scale farmer. And the lady you see in this picture is one of our club executives. Thank you for attention.
Thank you, Calvin. That's amazing. Excellent job. Really appreciate you sharing your story, and the crops you grew were fantastic. Thank you so much. I know there's been a little bit of technical lag going on here, but hopefully we'll be a-okay for the final presentation of the morning from 4-H Ghana member Corley. And so, Corley, you go right ahead and you can start your presentation. Welcome.
Thank you. I welcome you all. My name is Ophelia. I'm a secretary of Sekeswa DA 4-H Club, and also I'm a Form 3 student. Thank you for the opportunity you have given me to talk about on this 4-hour global fertilizer day, because I acquired the knowledge and the idea for my project from the group project. First of all, we met as a group to plan for our project with the help of our hardworking club advisor. We considered some factors needed for production, such as availability of market, access to river source, availability of seeds, and many more. We then agreed in the group to cultivate maize and vegetables. But I would like to throw more light on the vegetables, carrots to be precise. The carrots project began with the clearing of the sites without burning. After clearing, we prepared a seed bed and sowed the seed direct on the bed without nursing. 2 days later, there was no rainfall, so we had to irrigate our crops to supplement rainfall. The seed germinated exactly 1 week after sowing. We realized there was weeds growing among the crops, so we controlled the weeds by using hand picking method. We use this method because of our planting intervals, which is 10 by 4 centimeters. In that, cutlass and hoe cannot be used. After the weed control, we quickly applied fertilizer by the use of 4R principles, which are the right source, the right rate, the right place, and right time. The right source means the right type of fertilizer to be used on your crop. And our source of fertilizer was NPK 15-10-15. The right rate means the right amount of fertilizer to be used per crop. And our amount of fertilizer was 5 grams. The right place means the right place to apply the fertilizer for plant uptake. We decided to use placement method. The right time means the right time to apply of fertilizer, whether in the morning, afternoon, or evening. We decided to apply our fertilizer early in the evening. After the application of the fertilizer, we did watering, which helps to maintain soil nutrients and moisture. It also helps to control weeds. I will take this opportunity to talk about the work of Ministry of Food and Agriculture in our project. That is the Agric Extension Officers. Anytime there is a need for an expertise concerning our project, our club advisor always takes the trouble to invite the Agric Extension Officers for assistance, and they don't hesitate to respond to our call. Through their activities, we were able to learn a lot of good farming practices, such as mulching, application of fertilizer, supply in, picking out, weed control, and many more. We continued with our irrigation and second application of fertilizer. And then after 70 days, we realized our crops were fully matured and ready for harvesting. Next. A field day was organized to invite the small-scale farmers in our community, and we used this to educate them on the 4R principles. As a result, the farmers promised to adopt the 4R principles and use it on their farm. Next. We harvested our crops and sold some and used the remaining. Next. In fact, working with the 4R really helped me to cultivate my own vegetable crop, that is pepper, using just a small portion of land, and I was able to harvest 3 large size of baskets at the end of the season. May I use this opportunity to thank the work May I use this opportunity to thank our proudly sponsors, that is 4H Ghana and Fertilizer Canada. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to purchase the tools and materials for our projects. I will conclude my presentation by saying emphatically that the future of agriculture is in the hands of younger generations who embrace innovation and sustainability in their daily work. The 4R is one of such innovation of our time. I recommend it to all farmers as it will help produce more sufficient and quality food to feed ourselves and the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you, Corley. Wow, that is another fantastic crop you've grown. What a fantastic production of carrots. Thank you for sharing, Corley. And I know that Ghana is in very good hands with these youth as champions in agriculture. So thank you to the 4-H youth. Very, very appreciated. Very well done and presented. Thank you so much. So our final presentation of our session today is from Dr. Samuel Johoroge, and he is from APNI, and he's going to talk about the importance of youth in agriculture. So go ahead. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tamara. And I feel very privileged to follow on from those great presentations by the youth from Ghana, from the 4R crop. And as Tamara said, I think one does get the sense that the future for agriculture in Africa is bright because our youth are showing real commitment, not only to study, but to also practice this on their own. And it's been great listening in and seeing the great results that have coming in. So as mentioned, my name is Dr. Samuel Njoroge, and I work with the Africa Plant Nutrition Institute as an agronomist in charge of the 4R Solutions Project, and I'm joining in from Nairobi, Kenya. Next slide, please. And in my presentation today, I just have 2 quick slides where I want to illustrate just the case for why we need youth in agriculture. It's been mentioned before, and you'll see that the global population is expected to reach about 9 billion in the year 2050. To put that in perspective, currently we are just about 7 billion in the world. So in the next about 25, 27 years, it's expected an additional population of 2 billion will be joining us in the world. And a large part of this population, about 14% of this will be comprised of youth from the age of 15 to 24 years. And a lot of this population growth is actually also going to occur in Africa, with Africa already accounting for the youngest population in the world. So what we see is that with this expected large increase in population, there'll be even greater need for the world to produce much more food to feed this population. And there is the expectation that they will be need to produce about 60% more food than we are currently producing. And this becomes a challenge because the amount of arable land that is suitable for agriculture is limited, and this land is facing competition from a lot of other uses, from uses such as establishment of urban cities, establishment of housing systems, and a lot of other challenges. So the challenge we have then is how can we produce more from the existing land that we have without moving into forests and other ecosystems, because there will be challenges involved in this if we base our agriculture on expansion into forest systems. We know that there are likely to be adverse environmental effects. But then an additional challenge that we face is that on average across the globe, you find that the average age of farmers is about 60 years. And as a result, because of the advanced age, most of them have a limited ability to take up new production technologies. And we do know that a lot of the science that is coming out now is really trying to push the boundaries to show how we can maximize the current production. And this is really based on the use of technologies, like technologies that help us to determine when is the right time to plant, maybe by relying on technologies that inform us on the best time in the season when we expect the rains. Technologies that also inform us on how best we manage the nutrients that we have through concepts such as the 4Rs. And this is where the youth become a very critical component in this system, where we want to improve crop productivity, because as you have seen with the example from the 4H Club, this is a program that has run for only 1 year, but you can already see that these young students have already internalized the concept of 4Rs, and they have been able to apply them in various cropping systems from maize to lettuce and other crops. And already they have been able to share this information to other farmers, to their farmers and to other people in their community. So the youth really, because of their ability to process and quickly take in new information and adapt it, really hold the key if you're going to enhance our crop productivity in Africa. Next slide, please. There are, however, a number of challenges that face our youth when they want to participate in agriculture. And some of the challenges include the limited access to finances, and also sometimes they have the youth may consider that agriculture is not an interesting area to be involved, that maybe agriculture is not cool, agriculture is not marketable or fashionable. But here I want to give just a few pointers why we feel it's necessary to have youth in agriculture. And the first thing is that, as coming from an agricultural research perspective, especially in Africa, we really do need young brain power. You look at most of our research institutions, and you will realize that a lot of our researchers there, their age, most of them above 50, and soon will be retiring. A lot of them have retired. And also with the emerging challenges that we are facing, like climate change, issues with the new invasive pests like fall armyworm and other pests that are coming in, there's need for people who are young or who have the ability to come up and develop new concepts that can be able to tackle these emerging challenges. So really, there's the need for this young brain power to get into agricultural research beyond the high school level, getting into undergraduate and even postgraduate, pursuing their studies in agricultural research, so that they can be at the forefront of leading the future needs for agricultural research. Also, right now, agriculture is a field with effective innovations. Now we have the ability. There are a lot of, for example, mobile applications that are able to assist you if you want to make decisions on what crop to grow in what area, what is the right time for you to apply your nutrients, like in form of fertilizer or other nutrients like compost. Also, technologies that give you information about where can you get the best prices. So this makes agriculture more interesting for youth who are very technologically savvy and who also want to make the best of this system. So this is something that has come into agriculture. And also, agriculture is really not only about being on the farm. There are a lot of many other opportunities that are available in the agricultural value chain. You could be involved in agriculture either through farming or through value addition. You could be part of a team that is getting produce from farmers, you add value to it, and then you move it onwards to through the production chain. There are also opportunities in aggregating, people getting goods from different farmers, aggregating them together and being able to access better prices. Also, another important thing that we feel that it's important for the youth to be involved in agriculture is that agriculture has the power to change the world. Several studies have shown that in agriculture is the one industry where investments in agriculture, if you have some positive improvements in agriculture, it has the largest impact on people in the community, because agriculture is really starts at the base. We do know that agriculture is mainly conducted in rural settings by rural communities who are farming small farms. So if you impact at this level, then you're impacting a large proportion of the people, especially in Africa. So this has the power to change their income, and then potentially change their ability to access other goods like education, medication, and housing. And then by extension, then it has a big potential to change the world. I've spoken of some of the mobile applications that are available to make farming easy. We have applications like Akilimo, which are making things like cassava farming in Nigeria and Tanzania much easier. Farmers are able to log into these mobile applications and easily get information on how best to cultivate their crops. So information is now no longer only locked up in schools or in libraries. It's possible to get this information at the comfort of your sitting room or at the comfort of your classroom using mobile application. And also we do know that agriculture is a rapid avenue for income generation. So we do have a big challenge in Africa, especially to do with the employment. A lot of our youth, get done with their studies and are not able to quickly get up into employment, but agriculture offers a much easier entry point, because you can start at small scale, start with a small piece of land, start with a minimal capital, and slowly grow from there. And last but not least is that it's important that we have farmers in the future, because I mentioned that our farmers on average are about 60 years old. So by 2050, we cannot be able to rely on these farmers. They'll be very old and not capable to conduct agriculture on their own. They will not have the strength. So, and if we don't have farmers, we will not have any food and we will not have any future. And that's why we need the youth to come in and be our new farmers, so that we can be guaranteed of our food and our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jorge. So much great information and so much opportunity for the youth of Africa to get involved in agriculture. So thank you very much. There are many comments in our Q&A section on the excellent presentations, especially by Shafa, Calvin, and Corley. So thank you for taking the time to present your micro projects with us today. We truly appreciate learning about the great work you're doing in your communities. Thanks to Mr. Boating, Shafa, Calvin, Corley, and Samuel for participating. The recording will be available on our website in the coming days. As well, we will be sharing all of the slide decks that the presenters had today with everyone that attended. As well as on October 19th, for our solution, we'll be releasing a brand new case study surrounding the 4-H Ghana programming that they've done with the micro grants. So there'll be a more in-depth look at the work that was done to bring agriculture to the forefront of the members of 4-H. Mr. Boating, do you have any final words for us today?
Yeah, it's amazing that we've all gathered to share this knowledge that we have learned through the 4-hour programs. And for me, it's so gratifying, and we want to just thank all the partners, Nutrient for Life and Fertilizer Canada, Global Affairs Canada, who sponsored us, and all who have put efforts together to make this program very successful. I think I only just want to thank you. I'm looking forward for other bigger ones to come.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Mr. Boating, and you've done a wonderful job with your 4-H members. Thank you so much. All right. Well, I guess that concludes our sessions today. I want to say thank you once again to 4R Solution and 4-H Ghana for participating with us today to celebrate Global Fertilizer Day. Take care, everyone.